And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go see our good friends at Hail Mary's. They'll get you taken care of. They're located in Cheviot. They're right on Harrison Avenue inside the Dora District, so you can go from bar to bar with your drinks. But why do that when you can just stay at Hail Mary's? They've got 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall. They've got the DirecTV Sports package, so you can watch all the games. And Cincy Sports will always be on the video wall, including Saturday night, 8 o'clock, as the Bearcats take on Oklahoma State. Bucket drink specials starting in the first quarter all the way through the game. They have a brand new draft lines, brand new walk-in cooler, and of course, ice cold Cincy Light on tap in 32.8 degree frosted glasses. All right, Aaron, we'll get to talking here shortly. Tough news today. Got to lead with the headline stuff. Jalen Haynes.
Can we just have a good day?
I'm begging for a good day. Like, I just need a good day.
The bad days are piling up.
The bad days are piling up. I've had a lot of tough days here in the last week or so. But Jalen Haynes out indefinitely with a lower body injury. I don't know a ton yet. I know it happened yesterday at the very end of practice, like the last minute of practice is what I was told. It doesn't sound good. I don't think they know. A lot of times, like with these injuries, it takes a little bit to get the full extent. From the people I've talked to, it doesn't sound like it will be a quick recovery, which, look, if it was going to be quick, they wouldn't have put anything out. You know, that's generally how that goes in the sports world. They're not going to make any announcements if they expect it to be a fairly quick turnaround. And it doesn't sound like it's something that's going to be quick. What does that mean exactly? I don't know yet. It would be irresponsible to speculate at this point. But it sounds like it's not going to be like there's 3 weeks till the season. It's a matter of when does he come back early. So gonna have to readjust, man.
Sounds like Tyler McKinley is going to see some minutes he maybe didn't expect to see. Jalen Celestine is probably going to see some minutes maybe he didn't expect to see. And we'll see what rotation.
I think Celestine was going to see a lot of minutes. It's probably just going to be in a different role now.
Yeah. I'm curious to see now what I was already curious to see what the rotations were going to look like, and now I'm even more curious because that was a big body that you expected to play a bunch of minutes at both the 4 and the 5.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it could go a couple different ways. It could go, you see expanded minutes for a couple different guys, because if you're moving, like I think McKinley could have played the 4 and the 5. Now you're probably going to need him to be a backup to Mustafa Cham. That means there's minutes at the 4 without Haynes, with McKinley in a different role, Celestine at the 4. That opens up maybe more minutes at the 3 for Abayev, for Buck Harris, for potentially like a Jordy Rodriguez, who, you know, probably had to work his way up this roster getting here late. But I've really liked Jordy from what I've seen and heard about him so far. I know he's been impressive since arriving. So maybe that opens some opportunities for him. But, you know, I thought for sure you were like, there's 80 minutes between the 4 and 5. I thought for sure 65, 70 of those minutes were going to come from some combination of Baba, Cham, and Haynes. And now you might still get that. Like, you might get 30 minutes each of Baba and Cham. Maybe you have to play those guys a little bit more. You know, I think obviously, like when you're playing the bye games, maybe a little bit less, but maybe those guys see an increase in the time that they're on the floor. Maybe that ends up being a positive. But
it just sucks. I was looking forward to seeing, you know, some of that tough, gritty, big man attitude, fighting for every rebound with his body. And we just have to wait and see now.
That's the thing, Aaron, is for me, that's the big thing is I really think like they focused a lot, especially early in the portal, on picking up some dudes that were going to bring the toughness that was not evident from this team a year ago.
Right.
Big Slime was one of those guys that was going to give you some nasty.
He was one of the early ones. He was
that's what I'm saying. Early in the portal, third, I think, because I think Buck and Kerr were right at the same time, and then Haynes was right after that. Like, but those three were the three guys. Like those, we need some toughness. We went out and got these three guys.
Bam, bam, bam. Right.
To give us some toughness, and Haynes was supposed to be the guy on the interior that was going to bring a little bit of that. That's not to say that Baba and Cham are soft, but he had some dog in him.
Their bodies are not built the same.
No. So that, I think, outside of the fact that, look, he put up 14-6, almost 15-7 in the A10. He was a force for George Mason. It hurts. The roster is, at least as the season begins, probably going to take a hit. And Wes Miller's got a couple weeks to figure it out.
Let's not act like when somebody comes back, it's automatic plug and play either.
Yeah, if he can come back. Like we don't have that answer yet. When does he come back? Can he come back? Is it a situation where is he coming back too late where you want to maybe sit him for next year? Like those things are all still to be told. Just depending on what news they get.
Rayfelt, Mangine, they got their work cut out for them.
Yeah. It sucks. It sucks. And you hate to see as you're a couple days away from your exhibition opener against Michigan on Friday, and you have an injury that looks like it's gonna change the equation for however long it changes the equation. But the good news is they got a bunch of guys, and you have some versatility. So you should be able to figure it out. But until we get an answer on how long it's going to be, when might he come back, whatever that answer is, you're going to have to shuffle the deck and re-deal the hand for a little while, it seems like.
Hooray.
Yeah. The basketball dates and times are out as well. Nothing too earth-shattering here. I know that's super small, but super duper small. The good news is outside of those bye games early, once you get into conference play, the only two streaming games are on Peacock, and those are both home games, Colorado and Iowa State. Everything else, ESPN, Fox, ESPN2, FS1, CBS Sports Network, CBS. So you're going to get a couple national games, TNT. So you're going to get a couple national games and almost everything on linear. And once you get into Big 12 play, and then I was a little surprised the Dayton game is on ESPN Plus, but the Louisville game's on ESPN linear, the Xavier game's on TNT, True TV, the Georgia game's on ESPNU, the Clemson game's on ESPN. So the bigger games in the non-conference, except for Dayton, are going to be on linear, and then all the conference games except for two, and those are both at home. That's kind of the big news for me when looking at that, and a lot of weekend afternoon games.
Cord cutters everywhere are pissed.
Only a couple rough ones for us, Aaron. That Arizona trip, 9 p.m. on a Wednesday and then 10 p.m. on a Saturday. But other than that, Kansas State will be at 8 or 9 p.m. Other than that, every game, the latest is 7, other than those three.
Well, that's not terrible.
So, all right, we're 10 minutes in. We're halfway through talking about talking. Speed round talking about talking.
All right, let's start with Coach Not a great start. Coach Scott Satterfield. He said there's more plays by UCF in the second half than you see in the whole game. It's bananas.
Well,
He
there was
said
more
that,
plays on 2 drives than Cincinnati had in the entire second half. Cincinnati had 16 plays in the second half. They had a 17 play and a 19 play drive in the second half. Yikes.
He said they're running the fourth least amount of possessions in the country at 10. They're giving up too many on fourth and short. But good news, they are second in the country in yards per play. Stats. Said that homecoming is the Oklahoma State game this weekend is homecoming, and second time now that they've had to do that. Said that Cincinnati's done a good job protecting the football. He's been happy with that. He's been reminding his team that the past has nothing to do with this week, and you have to be your best every day. That leaders like Gavin, Dante, Joe Royer, they're helping keep the focus. So crazy things happened in the UCF game, but they proved they can win a different way. On Sunday, he didn't really have to bear down on the offense, as he said in his post-game presser. He said he was going to have to go hard on them. So they didn't really have to do that. They understand and they want to be the best, and they came ready to work. But it's hard to do anything when you have a half with 16 plays, as we were talking about. Said Jim Kelly taught him a lot of history about the program, and he was so supportive even when things weren't going great. As always, as everyone says, he was super positive, which was, as a coach, refreshing and rewarding. Talked about DeAndre Buford and said he has a ton of experience, but he's had penalties this year that have cost them touchdowns, cost them big plays. And Judea Milan.
Judea Milan.
And Ethan Green have proven themselves this year, and you're probably going to continue seeing that rotation. Said the team has been built out the way that this staff likes. Tough, gritty. They play fast and physical, and there's a lot of belief in the locker room in what they're doing as well, which is certainly what you want to see. Said that UCF kept 6 in the box no matter what Cincinnati did. Didn't matter what formation they were in. Said that he doesn't think playing against a 4-man front was a challenge, but both defensive ends were really good. They just didn't play up front as well as they have this year. Said every team that they have faced has had both 3 and 4 down linemen, and you're seeing 6, sometimes 7 different coverages every game with different fronts and twists. And as an offense, you have to be aware of what they give you and prepare for that. Said Oklahoma State has had 8 different players throw a pass this year, and a former receiver is now your quarterback. Evan Tengestal is the highest rated guard in college football who has worked his butt off in the locker room. That's by PFF, by the way. And they anticipated plugging him right in with Gavin Gerhardt beside him, which helps a lot. And Tengestal is a strong player who moves you where he wants to, but he still has room to grow. Said that things are looking a little different defensively for Oklahoma State after both Mike Gundy and his defensive coordinator no longer with the program. Said that the offense is still settling in. It obviously has been hard on Oklahoma State's staff after having a change like that. Said that against Iowa State and UCF, in both those games you had a lack of rhythm in the second half. He's wanting to correct that and fix that this week. And said that conferences have grown as far as teams in the various Power 4 conferences, and they beat up on each other. The margins are getting smaller. There's more teams with losses, and continue to expect that. And said that everyone has talent now because of NIL, and it evens things out a lot more. Questions were all over the place today. Brendan Sorsby said he doesn't worry about his completion percentage when the team's winning, but his goal is 70%. The offense is not looking for a long drive necessarily. They just want to score every drive. Big plays give the team momentum, but getting first downs is more important to the offense every time they go out. He didn't get to interact with Jim Kelly as much as he would have liked, but said Jim was awesome in the times that he did interact with him. He was a Bearcat through and through, and he will be deeply missed by the program. Said he hates throwing the ball away, but you have to know when to eat it to live another down. And learning experiences like West Virginia last year allow you to know special teams and defense can get you out of some sticky situations. You have to find a way to get the first down, whether the pass game or the run game is struggling, and that's things that they're working on right now. Said the culture this year is different. The goal is Dallas, not just a bowl game, and the message this week in the locker room is 1-0. It's an ongoing thing. I don't expect that to change throughout the rest of the season. Said Cyrus Allen let him know during the game that he only had one catch, and said that when playmakers are making plays, they're at their best. Said that it's not everyone is going to eat all the time, but it's better to have this than a ton of guys. Better to have this than a ton of guys wondering who, like, my note is all over the place. Better to have this than wondering who's going to make the play on any given down. Better to have lots of guys who can make plays and wanting the ball than to continue to wonder who's going to. Said that Joe Royer has to make sure that his own shoes are tied. He is not going to be responsible for that. And then he gave like 3 or 4 questions where he just complimented receivers. Dante Corleone said that 45-13 score against Oklahoma State is still stuck in his craw, and it's never left his mind since the last time that they played. Mentioned that he played Fancher in high school and already knew he was mobile in extended plays, and that Miles Montgomery talked a lot of trash, and he liked stopping him, especially in a rivalry game. Said that this season he knew he wasn't going to be dominant with different teams scheming to stop him in particular, but it's fun watching other guys who come in for him and spell him that are making plays. But his own reps keep going up, and he is still grinding to get better. He said that the maturity in the locker room is different this year, and that Oklahoma State still plays with great effort, and you can't take them lightly, and that he's not surprised with the Bearcats' results this year, with all the extra work that the team's been putting in. They continue to stay level-headed, and they're really not going outside of that comfort zone. So that people forget that Samuel Jackson was a receiver who turned quarterback, but he was also the number 1 quarterback out of Illinois. People are sleeping on that little fact. They're not. He said that they had 5 wins last year and they didn't win another game, and that's why they are so hyper-focused on making sure every week just have to go 1-0. And then he gave his own appreciation for Jim Kelly at the end of his presser. And then Evan Tengestal at the podium, first time. He said that he can't pay attention to rankings, as aforementioned. He is number 1 in PFF's rankings at guard. He still has a lot of things to fix and work on. He said that a lot of guys want to be out there every play, but it's good to have guys who can come in and play. Said last season sitting behind 2 NFL guys showed him the standard and different things that he could work on. He didn't have to change the way he played, but rotating last year helped to slow down the game. And in the offseason, both Nico and Nick Cardwell have pushed him the way that he needed to be pushed. Cardwell's like a second father figure to him and continues to push him to be the best man possible, and that it's not always about football. He has no stress about the rotation at the offensive line, and it's good to still have the same caliber guy when rotating. And then watching the way that Gavin Gerhardt operates is like the ideal football player, the way that he carries himself and keeps everyone in check. That's all I got.
All right, there you go. Let's hope tomorrow's better. Can we get a better day tomorrow?
I hope so.
All right. That's going to be it. We'll see you back tomorrow. BCJ pod with Dave and I to get ready for Oklahoma State. Probably a lot of basketball talk too. Aaron will be back with me to look at the Big 12 in week 8. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!